In this episode, I'll begin my review and reaction to the 1982 film Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner. So let's run some blades and get right into this review.
Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up.
Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the dub cast. Initially, I'd never even planned on watching this movie in my life, but Blade Runner 2049 has been on my list for a very long time. Come to find out that Blade Runner, this movie, is a somewhat necessary, not necessary, that's the wrong word, supplemental watch to Blade Runner 2049. So if you don't watch this one, you may not have the full context for Blade Runner 2049. Of course, you can watch Blade Runner 2049 without watching this movie. But the way my brain is wired, I said, you know what, I have to watch Blade Runner. And I don't get the hype. I thought it was okay. I don't understand the kind of aura around this movie. You have Ridley Scott directing it, which I've seen Ridley Scott do some really good movies. Gladiator's gas, Black Hawk Down's gas, American Gangster. There's a review of that on this channel if you want to go check that out. But man, this was just kind of a weird movie for me, and I get it's a 1982 science fiction, and I'm sitting here in 2025 reviewing it, maybe 2026 by the time this review comes out. But I don't know. I thought this was a very odd film, and just the way things happened. So, like I mentioned, Ridley Scott had some high expectations from him coming in. Obviously, Harrison Ford is in this one, and then the other stars never really heard of in this one. So yeah, I don't know. A little bit disappointed by Blade Runner. Not sure. I didn't have high expectations coming in though. I just kind of viewed this as like a almost a stepping stone to get to Blade Runner 2049, which I've been dying to watch. Well, not dying to watch because I would have watched it before, but I've been wanting to watch Blade Runner 2049. Wanted that full context heading into that movie. Watched this one, and it was like, I'm not sure if I needed to check this one out at the end of the day. But as always, we'll get into my thoughts and reactions throughout the movie. So starting it off, we have a blurb message. Replicants are not allowed on Earth. They are basically robots, and Blade Runners try to hunt them. So this was a weird concept throughout, well, I don't know. It's like when you start with the intro, okay, this is it, but there's really only a couple of quote unquote replicants throughout the film. So I don't know. I thought this was a weird way to start out, especially knowing how the movie goes. But I guess that's kind of like the background knowledge you're supposed to have heading into this movie, and or well, what they want you to know going into the later part of this movie. Just I don't know, didn't really do much as an intro for me. I like those hard hitting intros. Maybe throw a quote, throw a some music or something. Just this like informational line. This isn't fucking Star Wars. That was an overrated comment because it's not Star Wars. They didn't do Star Wars. It was just one line, but I don't know. Okay, replicants aren't allowed on Earth. There's the short of it all. So we flash forward to the future, which in this movie that when it came out in 1982 is 2019. Luckily for me, it's 2025 when I'm watching this movie, so I know what 2019 looks like. There you go. Actually, I graduated high school in 2019, first year of college in 2019, so very momentous year for 2019. And I think when you look at this 2019 vision in 1982, like holy shit, this looks crazy modern and stuff. I put in my notes, it looks hella sick. In parentheses, not. I don't know. I thought the graphics were kind of funnily bad, and maybe I do have a hard time adjusting to movies from the 80s and 90s, like graphically wise. I think it's kind of unfair to go back and criticize the CGI, the graphics. Like this was probably what made everyone love this movie so much. What if you took someone from 1982 and just put them into a 2025, put them into Blade Runner 2049? They'd be like, holy, that would be a holy fuck moment. This is like, okay, this is 2019, nice try. Like I feel like that's a lot of 80s and 90s movies and 70s movies that fast forward to the time period now, especially 2025 was a big year to flash forward to. I watched Total Recall in the past couple months. I'm not doing a review because I was high as fuck watching that nonetheless. Like that's supposed to be in the future, and it's like okay, it's let's move it up a little bit. So just thought that was funny where 2019 doesn't look anything like 2019. And we are not building like there's always that meme of like society when blank and it's like this like high tech. We don't have shit. We're still brick and mortar in 2025. So unless rapid changes come, which anything can happen in these days, maybe predictions will be off for a while. And I'm sure maybe people will be watching this review in 20. What would you even call it? It wouldn't be 21, 25. I don't know. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Hopefully I'm still here when they make the drug that makes you live forever. Anyways, 2019, thought that was bad graphics and funny. So there's this group of replicants, right, that have made their way onto the Earth. They're not supposed to be here. And I do think this one guy, the bleach blonde Nexus guy, his immediate entrance, he's kind of like the leader of the replicants. He had aura, bro. He has aura. You got to give it to him. That was a good part of this movie. Was the villain definitely had aura. You want to see that in your villains. So right away, we learn Deckard is Harrison Ford, obviously, and he's one of the Blade Runners trying to track down these replicants, make sure they don't do their thing. And there's a big test at the beginning of the movie where one of them gets out to make them known that there's a bunch of other ones running around. Good chase scene of Deckard running down the girl Nexus. I think chase scenes sometimes get a little bit convoluted, a little bit distracting. I thought this was a solid one of him chasing down the girl Nexus. So we also had the Nexus girl pulling up on Leon, who is one of the people who I believe made the replicants and was trying to help them out. It was hard to track who was who between the girls. Rachel is the one that Deckard simps over, the replicant that he doesn't really know is a replicant or not. But then this other one, the Nexus one, kind of looks like her. So there's like a weird match where like they take one off the street. It was hard a little bit. They looked a little too similar for me, so it was hard to follow who's who on this one. Um, right off the bat, we get Deckard and Rachel, classic love story that, in my opinion, I didn't think we needed, which I'm anti-love story in a lot of these movies where it doesn't really need to be out and about. It seems like every movie's like, fuck it, here's a love story for you. But this one, it makes sense with the human and robot slash replicant connection, so I didn't mind that storyline that much in this specific movie. So, yeah, eventually they get Tyrell and Sebastian. I hate watching eyes being gouged out. Like, fuck, man, I hated that shit. Um, that's really all I had on that one. Really, I wasn't like super invested in like the story. I don't know. This was like a. I think you could put this movie on. No, you can. You have to. You should watch movies and take notes and be. Well, you don't have to take notes, but be following along. It's just like this one was like, man, there wasn't really much going on. Well, there. You know what I'm saying. I don't. Imagine your eyes being gouged out though. Like, first of all, I think of all your senses, I should close my eyes. You do not want to lose your sight. Smell, no one gives a fuck. Taste is like bad, but like not. You'd rather be losing your taste than lose your um, hearing or seeing. Hearing would be bad. You can't hear anything, but at least if you can read, you can see things. Like I feel like vision's the most important sight. So having your eyes literally gouged out while you are passing away, like, oh, I don't like that. So the doll girl, she's kind of like this girl who's on the street trying to like make a play and get in with the maker of the replicants. She has mad demons for some reason, and then she gets copped. Actually, that might have been the Nexus girl who got copped. So she's done. It's really going to come down to this blonde guy. I thought, this guy does have aura, the blonde guy, but some of the things he was saying and doing were just very odd. So that kind of took me out of it at the end, where like you don't really understand his true motivations. They're trying to get off world and live, right? But you don't really know what's going on with him, and I don't know the way like it's very 80s of like him just saying and doing random shit, which kind of takes you out of it from a modern perspective. But maybe I'm new age and Gen Z and I don't appreciate greatness. But I thought this was like a very like this. I'm talking about this final chase scene really when Nexus guys chasing after Deckard. They're kind of doing their back and forth dance. Just thought some of the stuff and things he was doing were very odd. So the big twist is Deckard actually gets saved by Nexus. He gets saved by the blonde dude when he could have had a chance to just let him die, pursue his dreams, but Nexus was dying anyway, so he decided to save the human. So maybe it leads on to Deckard's decision to continue on with Rachel and go back for her because these androids slash replicants can have feelings. This was very Detroit video game. If anyone's ever played that, this gave that in like a way where you're like, oh, the robots slash replicants slash aliens are trying to help us out. Um, so yeah, Deckard gets saved by Nexus, and thank God because we need him for Blade Runner 2049, right? So he runs away with Rachel. I love you is supposed to mean something, man. That's what my takeaway is, where you can just say it whenever you want. In all these movies, you can just say I love you. People on Survivor say it after knowing someone for 2 days. Season 49, I'm looking at you, but I don't know. I felt like that was a shallow I love you. They barely like Rachel and Deckard barely fucking talked throughout the duration of this movie. Let's be honest. They didn't have a lot of screen time together. It just didn't feel like, I don't know, there was a strong chemistry there, but what do I know about love, right? I'm single. Anyways, apparently there was an extended, or the regular version in theaters was so bad where they had this voiceover where they do a different thing. My friend was just telling me about this yesterday, where they drove off and it's like a voiceover that kind of ruins the whole movie. I saw the good version, so I didn't see that part of it, so I'm not even going to include that in the review. Well, I did just include it in the review, but that is a part that I didn't see. So overall in this movie, I'm giving it a 6.7. I thought it was okay, not going to watch it again most likely. It's probably just like a fun, almost background watch if you're going to go do Blade Runner 2049, which, spoiler, that'll be the next review, Blade Runner 2049. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, it wasn't that fun, but it was a decent time, and there was enough there with Harrison Ford being a great actor in this one. Like I like the tech. Like I think if this movie came out now, I'd give it like a little bit higher just because it's like it kind of falls behind due to being in the 80s and trying to predict stuff that happens 50 years in the future. That kind of just doesn't really pan out that well, and just looks a little bit weird 40 years later. So 6.7. Also, some of the plot was a little lacking in my opinion. We have a runtime of a little under 2 hours, and maybe we could use a little bit more exposition, a little bit more context between the characters, and who are these Nexus people, so I'm not confused, and what are their motivations, and why does Deckard go back for Rachel? Pop that to like a 2 hour 20 minutes. That's looking like a good movie. So 6.7, decent movie, not the worst score, not the best score, just middle of the road movie for me. So where does this come in against the other movies we reviewed so far on the Dubcast? This is the number 64 movie of 79 movies reviewed so far. It's number 79 in the books. This actually ties with two movies, Master and Commander, Far Side of the World, and Good Morning Vietnam. I would take this movie slightly over Master and Commander, The Far Side. I can't believe I have to fucking read that out every time. Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. But I do slightly prefer Good Morning Vietnam. Of course, both movies, same score, or all three movies, same score, just a little bit nitpicking there. This does come in behind American Gangster at an 8.1. Both of those movies, Blade Runner and American Gangster, both directed by Ridley Scott. So this becomes the second of two Ridley Scott movies. Although this does become the best Harrison Ford movie, beating out Captain America: Brave New World, which was a 5.8. So there you go on that. So what were your thoughts on Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner? Did you like it? Did you think it was necessary before you watched Blade Runner 2049? And that's all we got on Blade Runner. Just kind of a 80s movie. I don't know if maybe I'm like too modern. I'm too Generation Z. I don't know. You'll have to let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of Blade Runner. Next two reviews, we'll have Blade Runner 2049 movie review and Legend the movie review. So yeah, not sure when this will come out specifically. Either probably New Year's Eve or New Year's Day of 2026. So have a great 2026, everybody. This is our year. Everyone lock in. Put your keys in your lock and shut that thing. We're locking in 2026. Dubcast is back. We had a little bit of a problem late in the year, but 2026, I feel it. I'm manifesting. Take a deep breath. This is going to be our year. So we got movie reviews, UFC coming out at the end of the month of January. Weekly NFL streams. Playoffs will be ramping up by the time this comes out. So either Week 18 stream or Wildcard stream will be up next. Check out the previous streams. It's a fun time drinking and just making fun with NFL. And expect more content coming out. We got Survivor 50 in February. A bunch of movies in 2026, bro. We're blessed. We're seeing all those movies coming out in 2026. So yeah, it's going to be a great time of the Dubcast. Looking forward to seeing y'all continue the journey with us. Hit a subscribe, hit a like on this video, and stay tuned for the next one. I'll leave y'all with that, as always. Wrong side, y'all. Be easy, y'all.